Hi, I've made this video so you can figure out whether you should book a free consultation call with me. I offer 15-minute free consultation calls so that people can get an idea of who I am, and we can find out if the thing that you've got in mind is something that I can help you with, and gives us a chance to ask each other questions. It also allows me to demystify hypnosis, which I can give you a little insight on here, since we're here. So hypnosis is shrouded in weirdness from movies and stage shows and things like that, but we don't bother with clucking like a chicken because it's not typically helpful. So we just get down to the good stuff, which is using your own mind to relax and get into a state of mind that you can make changes and are more likely to be able to accept a change that is going to be helpful to you. And so hypnosis doesn't feel like anything in particular. Some people feel like they're sinking down into their chairs. Some people may feel as if they're floating and light. And some people may just feel like they're sitting there listening to my voice. And either of those results is perfectly fine, and we want to just build momentum and move towards the positive changes that we're here for. So that's helpful because sometimes people will get in their head and they'll start thinking I'm doing it wrong and talk themselves out of any of the positive changes that we're about to make. So we work on that through the session, and it's just worth mentioning that what the experience can be like, as hypnosis doesn't have any particular feeling. And so hypnosis is can be described in a bunch of ways, but the hypnagogic state and the hypnopompic state are part of the sleep cycle. So just before you go to sleep every night, you go through the hypnagogic state, and as you're waking up, you pass through the hypnopompic state. So it's not a totally unfamiliar experience, and even if someone is sitting and maybe watching a video or listening intently to music or something like that, and someone calls your name and you legitimately don't hear them, you're really in a type of hypnotic trance in that case anyways, where your attention is totally focused in on something and it's focusing out all kinds of other things. So it's not a state of mind that is new or fabricated. It's a natural state that we can use to your benefit, where the brain sorts information differently and is really a learning state, the way that we're using hypnosis through hypnotherapy. And so this is valuable information for people because, it's not the same as movies and stage shows. Hypnotherapy is a different thing. And so some of the things that I'm well equipped to help people with are things like anxiety, chronic pain, stress, trauma, all kinds of experiential things. And so hypnosis can be really good at helping your experience, the way you experience the world, and changing that. And so it can help you move towards goals or confidence, or stick to an exercise program, build habits. It can help you stop habits like quitting smoking and things like that, because the brain uses the majority of the energy in the body by far. So it will automate any kind of behavior that it thinks it knows the answer to already. This is handy when you're going to tie your shoes. You don't have to think about which loop goes where, or when you go to open a door, you don't have to think about it. It just happens. But if the habit that you've adopted is worrying about work tomorrow when you're supposed to be sleeping, that's not so helpful. You can see how that might have been a helpful behavior on occasion if something particular is going on where you had a problem to solve. But if that becomes a habit, it's now, actually stealing your wellness. It's well-meaning behavior that has been automated, and it's not helpful. And so that's the kind of stuff that we can work on changing. Who I would not typically want to work with are, there are some medical conditions that are contraindicated for hypnosis, which is a fancy way of saying not recommended. So if somebody is bipolar, if they have schizophrenia, or if you've got a personality disorder like a dissociative identity disorder, something like that, and even epilepsy can be contraindicated for hypnosis. So in those cases, if we were to work together, I would need a letter from the doctor that says that you're good. If some of these conditions are well managed enough, according to a doctor, and depending on what we're working on, it might be okay. But those are the kinds of things that are a bit of a red flag as far as I wouldn't want to be working out of my skill set. And so if you're in that category, we've had that conversation. And, for the most part, I'm helping a lot of people with anxiety, and with chronic pain, and with other kinds of behaviors that have just started off as something valuable and then have just gone the other way on them, unfortunately. And learning how to change that kind of stuff is what my skill set really is, as I used hypnosis to overcome my own chronic pain from a broken back, and the anxiety and things that came along with it were just awful. And so nervous system regulation and the kinds of things that come up when we're stressed and when the body's under stress for whatever reason, and it can be really helpful. Anyways, hopefully that's some good information for you to find out whether you should book a call with me. And if you still think this sounds interesting, think it might be for you, then go ahead and click the button that should be near this video somewhere about booking a free 15-minute consultation with me. You can ask me any specific questions that you want, and we can find out if we're going to be a good fit, and then we can get going to make positive changes in your life. Okay, thanks so much for your interest, and have a good one. See you soon.